Well. Long time no see, everybody. um, yes, we're gonna talk about the picture in a second. Don't worry. Want to do a couple updates since I haven't done this stuff. I'll talk about my experience with Do You Remember Love, and then we'll kill the video. I've been planning to do this for a long time, just haven't had the time to. So now we're doing it because I have the time. First, as you see on the screen, today Hasegawa released a 1/72nd, one to 72nd scale Max battlesuit from Do You Remember Love? The Miria one had been out for a while. Today, I went out and picked up my Max because you can't have a Miria without the Max. Just can't. So, I'm gonna. I already looked at the parts. There is a figure on the inside that you could put as a pilot that's like just the top half of the body, but it isn't painted at all because typically that's what it is. I was hoping maybe that they did some kind of detailing on it, but they didn't, so nope. Sorry. But um anyway, I eventually plan on painting that because I want to paint Maximiria. Sorry. I'm my hand probably can't handle like the really detailed stuff because I have a shaky hand when I'm doing really careful stuff. So I hope it turns out okay. We'll see. Um, but anyway, so now I have four Macross models I need to do. I have the Fire Valkyrie, the high grade from Bandai. I have the Max Durandal high grade. I have the Max and Miria battlesuits. Now, I just found out because I just happened to be questioning. Well, they released the Fire Valkyrie, so what else might there be? And so I just went to Amazon. I typed in, Bandai high grade Macross in Japanese, and I checked. And so what I will show you now is what popped up there. Well, I won't go to Amazon, but let's see. Let's go to Yahoo Japan first. Oops. Should have brought this up beforehand. Oops. Alright. For some reason my O on my keyboard is giving me shit. Oh well. So as you can see, I typed in VF22S. Well, guess what's coming out? It's the high grade Gomling VF22S. And of course, this is just off some stupid website. I just wanted to show everybody. This is only done through pre-orders on Bandai's online shop. Kind of like, the not premium Bandai. Premium Bandai is different. But because they released the YF21 before they released the Fire Valkyrie, now they're moving on to the variants of the VF20 or the YF21. So the VF22s. We're getting Gomling in September. I wanted to pre-order it, but the pre-orders were already sold out. So no luck there. However, you can guess what this means, right? We're getting a Max and a Miria at some point. Because if they're going to do a Gomlin, they're going to do a Max and a Miria. They have to. And they'll probably do one from Delta from the TV series because that's the only other time they've really had a VF22S. So, we've got that now. So we've got Gomlin's VF22 coming as a high grade. We got Max's battlesuit from Do You Remember Love today. It officially released today. I went to Big Camera just to check to see if it was on sale, to see if it had been released yet, and I saw a few of them there. So I went over to Yodobashi Camera instead, and I picked it up there because you can get really the you get a good point backs. You get points, a good rate of points for that. So, um, uh, yeah, that's. I am so. I can't believe I didn't know that Goblin was coming. I mean, I didn't expect it, but when they you knew they were gonna do a Max Durandal when they released Autotos Durandal, when they after like they started doing these high grades, right? Well, we being the first one being the YF-19, we knew we were gonna get some variants of the VF-19, right? We were gonna get some of the Excaliburs, so we got the Fire Valkyrie first. I am hoping to God we get the Emerald Force ones. I'll buy 3 of them. I swear to God, I'll buy freaking 3 of them, and I will make Diamond Force, or not Diamond Force, Emerald Force. Sorry, Diamond Force is the VF-17s. Um, I swear to God, just, I will have 3 of those. I mean, I have the high metal VF-19S, which has the different helmets for or different heads for the different types, but that's actually impossible to find, by the way. I've looked trying to find it on sale, and nobody is selling the VF-19s, the high metals. You can find like the high metal R's stuff, like the VF, the Valkyries, the like Sylvie's Valkyrie and Nexus Valkyrie from Macross 2. You can find a bunch of them. You cannot find the old high metal, and it's not even a high metal R, it's a high metal VF-19S. You just can't find it anywhere. So, like, I am so lucky to have that. It's gorgeous, by the way. But I want a model kit of it because it's the coolest Valkyrie. It's better than the YF-19. Screw the YF-19. The VF-19S is the coolest fucking Valkyrie there is. But that's the updates so far that I know of. Moving along, I mentioned this. I was going to talk about this before, and I just haven't had a chance to. Back in May, locally, I got to see. Do you remember Love in the Movie Theater? They're doing this 3-day event at a local movie theater. It's one of the more well-known theaters in the area. And they did each day one of the original Gundam movies. They did Wings of Honeamis. They did this one Lupin Sansei movie or something, which is actually a pretty famous one from a long time ago, from the 80s. They did Venus Senki, and they had a couple other stuff that I didn't really care about because, I only went to go see Macross. And supposedly Macross is the only one that sold out, and it sold out almost immediately. So, yeah. My seat was pretty bad. It was towards the back of the theater, and it was over in the side, so it wasn't exactly the greatest seat in the world, but I got to see Do You Remember Love in the Movie there. I don't care, okay? So they started it, they had Kawamori and Itano come out and have this, like, talk event, is what they call it in Japanese. Where just they got this one guy up there asking them stupid questions. And this guy was fucking horrible with questions. God, he was awful. He couldn't keep the conversation going. Like, when somebody is honestly interested in what they're talking about, you can continue to ask questions and, like, plot along and, like, squeeze answers out of these people. Basically, it turned into the Itano bitch fest. That's what it was. He started getting off on the tangent because they talked about the guy asking the questions on stage, the idiot. He asked them about, like, the difference between the TV series and the movies and blah blah blah, and then Itano got all pissy about, like, one of the studios that what is it? Sorry, I had to check my phone for something real quick. but there was like this one animation studio they used that was absolutely awful during the TV series, which is probably the one they were talking about when they screwed up Miria so badly when they drew her with like looking like, you know, like someone with Down syndrome. Ugh, it was awful. Um, and it, you know, it was just a constant bitch fest by Itano. It was like Itano's very much, um, he's very very proud of the original Macross. Now, what I didn't know that they actually mentioned, I believe it's Itano that mentioned it. It's been a while now, so I don't remember exactly who said it now. I think it was Itano that said that to help Mikimoto when they were planning the movie stuff, is they got Yasuhiko, the guy who did all the Gundam character designs, to help with some of the animation on Macross. So there's another connection between Gundam and Macross now, which I didn't know that, which I thought was really cool. Because you know, Yasuhiko's famous, and actually Yasuhiko was at doing talk events for various other stuff at this 3D movie thing, and of course, he was there for the Gundam movies, and he also was there for another one of the shows. One of the other movies that they were showing. I don't remember which one it was off the top of my head because I don't remember which one he did. But to bring this all to, they had like three people get to ask questions to Kawamori or Itano about Macross. And what got me was there's this woman who got into Macross because of Plus and Seven, and she got her daughter into it, which I thought was cool. You know, you don't hear about that. You don't hear about the female fans of Macross in Japan, because the ones who were into Macross, like, they're not into Macross anymore. There's not really a female audience for Macross right now, and especially because Delta was awful and it scared off everybody. The TV series basically ruined everything that could have happened with anything to um, uh, promote, like to give better will through Macross to female fans. I'm pretty sure the old, like, do you remember Love? There was a lot of female fans, but you know, they're either my age or older now, so you know they're not younger people. Most of the people who got into Macross in the last 20 years basically got in from Frontier, and they didn't even bother with Delta because they weren't really fans of Macross. They were just fans of Macross Frontier because, oh my god, Maine, and because of, you know, Bishonen, and it was stupid. And it was like high school life. It was ugh. I've already bitched about, you know, Macross Frontier enough, um but the last thing I'll say about this little talk event is Kawamori looked so disinterested. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe how disinterested he looked. Like, he was, like, if you compare, because there's, you know, if you go on YouTube and you look it up in Japanese, you can find the old Do You Remember Love, what is it? Like, promotional interview thing that was like 30 minutes long, back in '84. And Kawamori was much more interested, and then you also had Hase there, you had Doi Mika there, you had Ijima Mari there, you know, you had a bunch of people there. And Kawamori seemed much more interested in, if you pay attention to the way he talks, he seems really interested, he's really happy with the product and everything like that. I've I noticed his body language, and I noticed how little he spoke. And he seems so disinterested. I think the next Macross series is gonna be absolute garbage. Just by seeing his body language at that event, I think the next Macross is, don't get your hopes up. I am scared to what might happen, and I understand that. What is it? I understand that Sunrise, which is Bandai, is going to be animating it this time, so the animation will be much better than, I mean, the computer graphics will be much better than Delta or Frontier. But still, Kawamori's body language really bothered me, and it said a lot to me. He's basically checked out on Macross, and he's just doing it for a paycheck at this point. So I don't know. I I will say this: for the 45th anniversary Macross TV series that's in production now, that they're gonna release in a couple of years, temper your expectations. Do not expect something good. Expect Delta TV series or possibly worse. That way, when it's better than that, you'll at least be able to enjoy it. I have very low expectations though. So, just, I wanted to get that opinion out there because I want people to understand, that this is something that caught my attention because I was paying very close attention to Kawamori and his body language and Itano's body language and all that stuff. And so that was something I needed to say. So, temper expectations, especially considering that that new game that came out has been total dog shit. Was it Shooting Insight? I think it's called. That game has been dragged through the mud. It was awfully. It was made poorly. I won't touch it. I won't play it because, from everything I've read about it and seen, it doesn't actually live up to any expectations of any Macross shooting game, and it is so difficult. There's games that are difficult for a good reason. Like Toho Project games are, some of them are more difficult than others, but there is a way to actually win on those. Supposedly, Shooting Insight is so hard, all bets are off. Like, it is almost impossible to get through the game after a certain point. So avoid it. Because I checked its stuff in Japanese because I'm not going to trust what people outside Japan say about this stuff. Because for people who like shooting games, typically they like difficult games, but difficult, like fair difficult games. Total Project is difficult, but except for Chireiden. Chireiden is just... that game is... I picked it up for the first time today. I'm going to play it because it's supposedly the hardest Toho game there is. But if Shooting Insight's probably harder than that, and it's not a fair hard either. So, let's just keep. I just want to get that out of the way too. Now, on to the movie, because I've dabbled on for everything long enough. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my freaking life. It was amazing. Although there was one scene that I have on my DVD that was cut out of the theatrical release. Even though they kept Mime's shower scene, even though she's 16 years old. So you have Mime's shower scene, that's okay. You have Miria stepping on a Zentradi dead soldier's head after she kills him. There's all kinds of bloody stuff that happens in throughout the entire movie, right? For those who watched it, you all know about this. There's a particular scene right near the end of the movie, when there's like some girders or something falls down and cuts off a guy's head. Well, they cut out the guy getting his head chopped off because, oh, it's too gory for showing people. But you'll show Miria using the dead body of his Zentradi soldier as a shield, throw him up there, and he blows up in their face, and then she throws the cut body, like a body cut in half, on the ground, and then complains that there's nobody who can beat her. Okay, you got that incredibly grotesque scene that's really, really long, but you'll cut out that tiny little scene about a person getting their head cut off. I don't know that, because I noticed that right away. So that, because I've watched Do You Remember Love on DVD so much that I remember the scenes exactly, and that kind of bothered me. Like, you show those other gore, what's different about this? Anyway, but in the movie theater, it's a completely different experience. It was designed to be seen in a movie theater. Actually, for those who know about the final scene with Ichijo going to go after Bulldozer, and one of the missiles he fires is actually a Budweiser can. And Itano talked about that in the Talking Up, but people have known about that for decades, right? Yes, it's true. In the movie theater, you can see it much easier than you can on your TV. It is so easy to tell that is a Budweiser can. It is so funny. So yeah, that's definitely. And Itano brought that up. He said he got tired of drawing missiles, so he drew a Budweiser can. It's exactly what he said when he was talking about it. He was drawing so many missiles because of Itano Circus, right? And he was like, okay, I'm just gonna draw something else just to be stupid. And he drew Budweiser can. All right. So. All right. Well, it was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's still the greatest movie ever made, and nothing will ever change that. So, but I had to just point out a couple things here and there. It was just so good on the movie in a movie theater. It was so good. I can't imagine it. You know, like, I'll watch it still, but after seeing the movie theater, oh my god, it's I can die now. I'm a happy man. I can die now. So anyway, just want to get this video out there, let everybody, because I've been promising it for so long, and there you go. So I will post a review of the Max Quadrant Row when I get it done. I plan on possibly building it tomorrow. I want to build it this weekend because I start a new job on Monday. So I want to, do something with the weekend to relax. So I'll probably build the Max. And I'll probably build the Fire Valkyrie too, because the Fire Valkyrie is something I really, really wanted to build. So anyway, that's all for this video. And when I've got something else to report on, Macross or whatever, I'll post a video. I don't know next time I'll be able to do this, but we'll see. Anyway, later.